Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Saturday, May 11th, and the moon is in Cancer. The moon moved into Cancer yesterday. And of course, Cancer is a sensitive, emotional sign. It is a security-minded sign. We do have a square between the Sun and Mars today. Mars in Aries. As we know, Mars moved into Aries not too long ago, kind of leading the band, as it were. Mars being in Aries, being the ruler now of the North Node in Aries. And so there can be a little frustration with that combination. Mars wants to move forward. The moon is a little bit more reserved and concerned about its safety, perhaps, or the safety of the people around them, or around us, I guess I should say. But we also today have a trine between the Sun in Taurus and Ceres, the goddess of grain. The goddess, Ceres was a goddess of nurturance. Children, but she's also the goddess of grief, as Ceres was the goddess who lost her daughter to her brother Hades when he took Persephone, the maiden, down into the underworld, and because of that she stopped producing food for humanity, and she was begged to come out of her grief and her sorrow, and they ended up making an agreement so that her daughter could spend half the time with her and half the time with her new husband, the Lord of the Underworld. In the case of, and that's sort of the story of the seasons, right? There's a season for growing, a season for reaping, a season for joy, a season for sadness. Trines are energy that is not in its way. There's nothing that gets in the way. This brings up issues of This sort of brings up issues of food, actually, and aid. And so we may be seeing more food and aid, like going to places like Gaza. I was also watching the news and started hearing more and more about the terrible things that are happening in Sudan. And so now, of course, those terrible things have been happening for at least a year. That there's, I don't know, it's the largest group of people who've been kicked out of their home. There's this, we've been seeing this for years. We saw it in Myanmar. We saw it certainly we saw it in Syria with what happened to Aleppo. We're seeing it in the Ukraine with Russia coming in, although it's a little bit different. It's less of I think of an ethnic cleansing kind of thing, and maybe more of a just wanting to reclaim and call the Ukrainians Russians. I don't want to get into that, but there's this sort of taking land by force kind of thing, and just the people that live there saying, we don't care, go wherever you go. It happened also in what was it, Armenia, right? There was this it wasn't Armenia, it was one of the stands, and Azerbaijan, anyway, where they just said, you got to get out of here, and they had to go to Armenia, and they had been living there for I don't know how many decades or whatever. So there's this sort of mass moving around of groups of people who lived there, right? It's I think it's part and parcel to Uranus and Taurus, as you know, as part of that. But anyway, so there's been a lot of that, and of course the ones that get the most press when we're not talking about a certain ex-president getting spanked with a magazine, stuff that really doesn't matter is getting all the press, while the stuff, the humanity, doesn't. So that stuff, and I bring all that up because it's finally maybe getting its due. You don't have to look for that. You actually seeing it maybe on the news. So there's things that people are waking up to the situation that we find ourselves in, I think, and I think that's a good thing, even though they're not easy things to look at and see. So there is that. So today, in general, is a flow of perhaps resources to those people who need them, which is good news, especially for the people who need them. But also some frustration. Maybe, and this could be seen in the larger world, of course, and could be seen in your little country, your little country called your life, right? All right, let's duck under and see what's going on up here. It's a beautiful morning, but it is quite chilly. I think it was maybe upper 30s last night, lower 40s. It's pretty chilly, but you know, the plants around here are pretty hardy. They're used to the cold and waiting for the spring. There we go. There's that beautiful dogwood. It's not even in its glory yet. It will be. Dog diggity dog. And of course all the birds. All right, guys. Well, have yourself a great day. I'm on my way today down to Biden territory, visiting my mom in Delaware. I am taking you along for the trip, so I will next morning you see me do this, I will be in further south. It's a long ride. But I'm also, not only am I going to Joe Biden's stomping grounds, I'm taking the train. Amtrak Joe. I'm going to feel like Amtrak Joe's, I don't know, much younger niece. I don't know. All right, guys. Have yourself a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. I am, before I leave, going to get out the astrology of the next week. In fact, I'm going to go up and do that right now. It's a very interesting and active week. We're going to see lots of big changes, I think. So you can keep your eyes peeled for that. All right. Take care of yourselves. Namaste.